Hello, everyone, and welcome to another elite episode of the Get Authentic with Marcus show. I'm your host, Marques Ogden. On today's episode, we are joined by Miss Evva Fenison. But before we bring up Evva to the stage, I want to thank one of our amazing sponsors, the Fran Dream. This episode is being sponsored by the Fran Dream, helping ambitious professionals find their next high growth venture. Is a secure career you've poured your life into for your family actually costing them everything that truly matters to them? The unseen cost is the real sacrifice. I've lived that cost. I remember when my first business failed, I lost everything. The real trap wasn't the financial loss, it was the emotional way of letting down my family, the people I was working so hard to protect. I learned there's a disciplined path, a clear system to rebuild, regain true control, and establish unwavering security for your legacy. The Fran Dream eliminates the fear of the unknown by providing a complete playbook for proven and a franchise business model. It's all structured through due diligence and ongoing support so you can build real passive wealth. It's time to trade the anxiety of the hustle for the security of ownership. To get a clear plan, go to podcast.thefrandream.com/Marcus. That's the link in the show notes. Again, the podcast, frandream.com/Marcus to secure your legacy. It starts today. Now, here she is. Evva, how you doing today, Evva?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well, thank you. First question, Evva. What does the word authentic/authenticity mean to you?
The word authentic/authenticity. It's something that I have strived for really in the past, 10 years or so, now that I've become a little more conscious of what that looks like. But authenticity is just being real, being honest, not having to put on a facade, not having to hide your struggles, because we're all in an incredible journey here on earth. And so many people are not authentic because they don't know what they don't know. But once you have the right information, then you feel a little more confident to be authentic.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you have the information, you have a little bit more confidence to be authentic. I love that because I tell people, right, Evva, confidence and courage are very important to have to showcase authenticity. Because when you're authentic, you may not have everybody like you the way that you want to be liked. But at the end of the day, as I tell people, it's much better to be yourself
Yes.
and be who you are than try to be something and or someone, right, Evva, that you know you can't sustain. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's really important to protect your energy. I'm all about energy. We're all energetic beings, and you can't be around inauthentic people because people are contagious. So if you're around people that are inauthentic, that really haven't discovered themselves, you're liable to catch that inauthenticity, which I believe I did in the first part of my life and being, susceptible to worrying about what everybody else was thinking. And I just realized that it doesn't matter. I'm no longer worried about what other people think because I'm confident in myself and in my authenticity. And the people that don't like me, that's okay. They're on their own journey. God bless them. But I am not going to allow them into my space to affect my brainwave and my mindset. So I think it's really important to protect our energy and our, sphere of influence, who you allow into your life, the people that you associate with. It's so important to protect your energy like you protect your bank account.
Evva, please tell us a little bit more about yourself and then the current work you're doing with your brand and all the things that you're doing in general.
Oh boy, a little bit about myself. We could be here for hours on that one because I've had a pretty incredible journey in this life. Where would we even start? So let's start professionally. So I started a company when I was 24 and sold it 24 years later. and had a very successful exit, and realized at that point that I had been with my husband for 20 years at that point, and I had three really major life changes at that moment. Number one, I sold my company, so my identity is gone. I'm no longer this, superstar professional business person. Number two, I got a divorce. Wonderful man, but he built a big company. He built an $8 billion company. I built a big company, and we just realized that we're not focused on each other. So the divorce was amicable. And then I got breast cancer. So you kind of have three things hit you, boom, boom, boom. So I really lost my sense of identity. I'm not a business person. I'm not a wife. My body's failing me. And I had to do some real deep soul searching in who the hell am I? Like, who am I truly? And what do I stand for? And that has been the journey really the past 10 years or so. And I've always talked about evolving and growing. And that's where the name came from, is I had written everything down more as therapy in terms of, when you put things down on paper, it kind of clarifies things for you. So I have a lot of Evva-isms that I live by, and I put them down, and it turned into a book. And when I thought, what am I going to name this book? It was pretty obvious. My name is Evva, and I'm going through an evolution. And I thought, how perfect. That was just the God-given perfect name. So each chapter is one of my Evva-isms and different things that I learn, the different things that I've learned on my journey. And I'm proud to be able to inspire other people and help other people maybe on their journey who may have gone through cancer, who may have gone through a divorce, who may be completely reinventing themselves because they've realized, like I realized many years ago, that there's no there. That's one of the chapters in my book, where I thought when I get there, I'll be happy. Well, I got there. I had, you name it, I had it. But I realized that these material possessions, I think we are all too enthralled with materialism across the world. And I really wanted to give young people just another version of who they can be, that seeing everything on social media, the Ferraris and the jets and this and that, you have to be whole within yourself before you can appreciate that. So my journey it's been a roller coaster, but at this point, I really wouldn't change it because it helped me become a version of myself that I dreamt of a long time ago.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I really love this, the evolution factor, because Evva is talking about things that she's gone through in her life. And I want to break each one down, one of the big three factors, right? So, and again, you can kind of tie this back to your book, right, Evva? So, first thing, you talk about you sold your company. So, unfortunately for me, I was trying to sell my company. But unfortunately, my business partner at the time was not ethical. And I was trying to explain to him we need to really be more ethical. And we were going to share some things with people that actually bought the company from us or were going to buy the company from us. But when they found out that my partner lied about some things that was pretty obvious, they pulled the offer and we ended up losing the business. I went completely bankrupt and I lost it all. So I didn't sell my business. I was trying to, but I lost my business. I had to start over from scratch after losing my business, right, Evva, and all that I own. So that was a hard change for me. Can you please explain through your Evva-isms or in the book Evvalution, really talk about how you were able to, what was it that you went through after selling the business, and how did you, quote unquote, get yourself back to a good position? Because like you said, you lost your identity, you weren't this big business mogul anymore, and that was hard for anybody to kind of go. So talk about that part of your, like, that first big thing that hit you at that time.
Yeah, I think at that time, for a while after that, I got stuck living in the past, which is not a good place to live. I do not recommend it to anyone. The biggest mindset shift that I think we all should embrace is reversing the way we're supposed to live. I would recommend living from your future, which means create a version of yourself in your mind that is who you want to be in the future. Is it, a superstar health nut that you're working out every day and you're in great shape? Is it a business person? What is it in the future that you want to be? And then it's a matter of reverse engineering that. So I decided I wanted to be healthy. I mean, I had breast cancer twice, not just once. So I thought things have really got to change. And instead of wallowing in that, oh my God, I know there's a lot of people that get lost in wallowing, my divorce or my cancer, or whatever their story is. You have to stop thinking about the negative and really live from your future self. Reinvent yourself so you're acting like the person that you want to be in the future. Now, that's not good enough because you're going to have to do the things that that person does. So if that person goes to the gym every day, then you better start acting like that person you want to be in the future and actually get your ass out of bed and go to the gym or whatever the case is. But when you can write down a list of things to reverse engineer your life as to where you want to be, and then you do the actions that you need to do, then you will have what you want. People have it reversed though.
I really like this because at the end of the day, right, Evva, if you're wanting to change something, you have to think about what you need to do first. What do you need to have done for the end result? When you figure out what that is, I tell my clients a lot, reverse engineer backwards and do the things they're going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. If you don't know what it's going to take to get where you want to go, how in the world are you ever going to get there?
Exactly.
I love it. And so again, ladies and gentlemen, she talked about being healthy. She had breast cancer twice. We're going to touch on that here in a moment. But these are some things, and I can really attest to that, right, Evva? That's why I lost my construction company, because I was so focused on being the minority contractor of the year 2 years before. I was focused on being a $25 million company the year before. I was focused on all these things. I bought a Hummer and this and all those things before. And I lost sight of who I was as a person then and where I wanted to go. Because I was so like, I had the success for 2 years ago, 1 year ago. What happens is I got caught in that factor of like living in the past, and I stopped living in the present, and I stopped focusing on the future, and it cost me everything. So love that. Next question, divorce. I also went through a divorce. I filed for divorce in July 2022, and I moved out November 1st, 2022. And for about 2.5 months, November 1st, 2022, December 2022, first half of January 2023, I was really depressed. Poor me, feel sorry for me. Then around mid-January of 2023, I said, enough is enough. I got to get my life back together. So I started to focus on what I wanted to become and how I was going to get there. That's what I did. Could you please share, Evva, from the book or your Evvaisms, things of that nature? Because unfortunately, a lot of people go through divorce. Would love to hear your perspective, how you bounce back to help you kind of get to that next level.
I think we've kind of covered that in the sense that I really stopped focusing on the past. And again, back to the future, that I wanted to be a different version of myself because that version wasn't working. And I can't blame, I don't put blame on anyone. And I think it's a mistake for people to put blame on their ex-husband or their ex-wife, even though they might be crazy or whatever the case may be. Mine certainly wasn't. But too many people go into this blame game of it's his fault or it's her fault. And I think when you can take and this is hard, if you can take 100% responsibility and say, okay, I am responsible for what happened, even though they may, have some things that are less than pleasing. If you can, in your mindset, forgive them and be in a peaceful state where you take responsibility and make the right changes, make the right mindset changes, so that it doesn't happen again. You see so many people that fall into these patterns where they're repeating the same mistake over and over again. And it really, it is fixable, but you have to do some serious soul searching and let go of who you think you are for what the possibility is of who you could be in the future. If you just take tiny steps, you don't have to change yourself entirely in a week, but you have to do small disciplined steps. And if you're consistent, if you have the patience, the perseverance, the positivity, and more importantly, the discipline where you can trust yourself. If I say I'm going to go to the gym every day and I don't, well, I'm just letting myself down. And if you let yourself down, then you'll let anybody else in your world down too. So I've learned to be best friends with myself, and I'm not concerned about anyone else anymore. I do things for me, and more importantly, for the future version of me. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. Evva, thank you, because you did touch on it in that last segment. You went even deeper about you have to do the work, right?
Yes.
And so I went to therapy for 2.5 to 3 years after that. And so I went through working on myself and bettering myself. And I stopped looking at things. Well, what did she do wrong? Okay, what did I do wrong? Right? Where can I make the adjustments? Where can I better myself? And once that happened, I started learning in relationships what I would accept and what I wouldn't accept, boundaries, and
Yeah.
how to live your life. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and the word she said that I love, everybody that loves our show, we're so grateful for people that love our show around the world. People know the word she said that I love is discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline, doing what you hate in order to get what you want in life. And if you do not do the things you hate to do, you'll never truly live, in my opinion, the life you want to live. And the last thing you talk about, right, is the breast cancer, and twice, and going through that. And I have never had cancer. I did find out that my brother's ex-wife just actually beat breast cancer not
Good.
that long ago, and she rang her last bell, which I was just so happy for her that she's able to overcome and beat that. And I sent her a message. I said, I'm just so happy that you're here and you've now beaten this, and you can talk about it and you can help others with your story. So that just happened actually maybe like a week ago. I found out, so it hasn't been that long. So
Recently.
please talk about, for people that are listening, how you were able to overcome that with the right mindset. And like you said, you weren't being a pity party, because I want people to get a hold of, if they're struggling, right, Evva, how can they tap into your strength through your story?
I'm not sure people would agree with this, but I'm willing to be a little on the controversial side. Um, I really did not allow myself to believe that it was true. I know that sounds strange, but
Hmm.
I really continued on my merry life. I'm like, okay, surgery next Tuesday, no big deal. What am I doing tomorrow? It's the old adage of take one day at a time. So each day I would say, okay, what do I need to do today? And I would forget that I have breast cancer. I literally would program my mind to, I am going to live my life to the fullest. I was invited to a party. I'm going to go to the party. I have a trip planned. I'm going on the trip. And when I get home from the trip, okay, I'll do the surgery then. Luckily, I still had pretty high energy, and that's just, I think, who I am. So I was able to still do a lot. The first time I got breast cancer, okay, that was a little more devastating because it's a shock. The second time, it's like, ain't no thing. I just,
Mhm.
I just went through it, and okay, got the surgery, okay, got the treatment, okay. And I think in addition to that is, some meditating, some real soul searching of just being quiet and not listening, not paying too much attention to the world. And when you really go deep within yourself, you're able to realize that we're all on this journey, and none of us are coming out of alive. So maybe my life will be a little shorter than other people's, maybe not. But I really just continued on my merry way, did what I needed to do, and didn't focus on the past or the the diagnosis. I lived for my future self. I'm like, my future self does not have cancer. My future self is healthy. If I was 5 years from now, what would I do? I would go for a walk. I would take my vitamins. I would maybe do some research. I did do a fair amount of research on what I should do and what I shouldn't do, because there's a lot of controversy out there right now with the medical field, which is a whole other topic. But I turned down chemo. So that's a whole other topic. But my intuition, even though the doctor said, lady, you should get chemo, I was like, my intuition says that it hasn't spread. It hasn't gone to my lymph nodes. Why would I poison 99% of my body with chemo when you already took the item out? So that's more of an inner knowing that I just trusted myself and soul searching. Might be controversial. And I'm not sending any medical advice here. I'm only telling you my story of what I did to overcome cancer.
Evva, there is no controversial way when you're the one that went through it. You did what you felt was best for you. Unfortunately, you were struck with this horrible disease twice, and you went the way in which you thought was best for you to get the outcome you wanted. There is no controversial way when you had to go through it, the surgery, the mental drain, all the ups and downs. So kudos to you for doing what you thought was best for you. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is where you have to learn from people's stories, right? They may not be the best way for you, but you can get a sense of the story of what Evva did. You can tap into that to help you move forward. Evva, phenomenal interview. How can people connect with you? They want to purchase your book. How can our global audience support you, ma'am?
The book is on Amazon, so I can give you a link for Amazon. And I'm on Instagram. You can follow me. I think Instagram is the best place. I do have a TikTok channel. I don't really use it very much. I don't think it's my age group. But Instagram is really the best place probably to follow me. And I try to give, Evva-isms, where I give advice to people. And really that's my mission right now. It's just to inspire people in their reinvention and inspire them to live better lives through authenticity, through honesty, and through reinventing themselves.
I love it. Before we give the final authentic tip, I want to leave you with one last piece of proof on the topic of legacy we've been discussing. It's too important to ignore. My story of finding control after failure is just one piece of proof. This struggle is real for so many high achievers. I recently spoke to a brilliant leader, Anita Sarda. She was top corporate executive, and she told me the moment she realized her path was wrong was when her 7-year-old son asked her the heartbreaking question, "Mommy, who did you fire today?" In that instant, she understood the legacy she was building was not the one she wanted to leave for her family. She saw the emotional cost and turmoil. If a top leader like Anita faced that cost and found a clear system to redefine her legacy, you can too. This is a proven path to success that honors both your ambition and your family. This is your chance to create a clear plan. Go to podcast.thefrandream.com/Marques to secure your blueprint for a better future. That link is right there in the show notes for you to click. Again, that's podcast.thefrandream.com/Marques. Start building your secure legacy today. And the authentic tip of this great interview: in life, as Evva did in her situation, do what's best for you. That's key. This was an amazing interview, and I learned in life from Evva, do what's best for you. Because when you do that, you can hold your head high that you knew you did what you thought was best for you and for your situation. Again, my name is Marques Ogden. I am the host of the Get Authentic with Marques show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you. How'd we do?